Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Hello.
All. Sorry. Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, awkward beginning. It's awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to say hi to everybody who's joining us live, and thank you all who's gonna watch it. Like watch the replay, because hopefully it's gonna be useful either way. I have with me 3 lovely people who's gonna join me on the journey for a year in the Wildwood and everything like that.
A whole year together.
Yeah, I know. I mean, such a commitment, and anybody can leave anytime. So it's not like you're forced to do the whole year if you don't want to. But before I let anybody else speak, which is gonna be hard for me, I just wanted to say that I call this live stream as a study group, but it's not like I'm acting as a teacher or I'm coming in as someone who has authority. I wanted this whole thing mainly to have support, to find ways to encourage each other to continue with the study, because I think this is such an interesting and unique deck, and it has its own system, that sometimes it's very hard to actually sit down and go through things, and maybe it's easier if there are more people than just you and yourself. So I have the other. No, I'm pointing the correct way, and that's totally confused me. So I have Ritchie. Yay, Wildwood Tarot.
Thank you.
Everybody's channel is in the description, so go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already. I also have, oh my God, April in the other corner, and I have Gerald as well underneath me.
Hello.
So yeah, and there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of
in
people
the chat already, which is so cool. So let's say hi to a few people. We have Sandra, Spirit of Avalon. And everybody, please do say in the chat if you want to do the study, or if you have done it. We're open to suggestions. How did you do it? What was your experience and all that jazz? We have April in 2 places. Like,
it's crazy.
My magic.
Oh my gosh, it's magic.
Oh, that little thing where I could be in 2 places at once.
Exactly.
I'm a mom too, Gerald.
Yeah, I have a necklace for that. Hi, Giselle. We have met Ritchie, who's a lovely, lovely person. And if you are not subscribed to her channel, you should. I'm just saying. Hi, Julian Bada. Why was that so hard? I'm so sorry. Even though they just said hi to you, so maybe they didn't want to say hi to us. No, I'm just teasing. Have you bought the book? I bought The Year in the Wildwood.
Oh.
In a Kindle format, unfortunately, because the paperback is not available on Book Depository, and that's my main source for. Yeah, so I don't have the actual book, but like I have it here. I promise. This is the forward, and that's gonna be the base for our little study. And I didn't want to just blatantly just rip off the whole book, so obviously I didn't provide anything more than just the cards that they were selecting for the season for the next 3 months. So if you're interested in the book, you should buy it. I think it's okay to give the list of the cards, because hopefully that's okay. So yeah, we're gonna do this the first section for 3 months. And then I know that I'm gonna film a few updates along the way, but I don't know how do you plan on doing this, you guys?
Well, shall I go first?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to study the deck with the ones that you've been talking about. The main, I don't know, are they Arcana? The ones from the major Arcana that we've been talking about at the moment. I'm trying to get my head around the fact this isn't your bog standard tarot deck. Yeah. That's what I've been working with in the last couple of weeks or so, just to think about the processes behind it. So I've been quite open, and I'm loving the idea of having a conversation about this so that people can go, yeah, come up with their own. But I just want to be a bit free with it. I'm going to probably work with a card every day or so, every couple of days, and just kind of do a bit of journeying with them, bit of meditation with them. Going to try and encourage a bit of dream work from it. So I'm going to try and keep by the bed and kind of put myself into, and I'm going to go in that way rather than try and learn the book verbatim. Or what I really don't want to do is be going, oh, that the Six of Swords or whatever it is. I know what that one is and how it translates. So I'm just trying to really keep them distance from my normal RWS understanding.
So you're not gonna follow the dates that were given?
Yes, I will do. Yeah.
Oh, you will. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep that. However, I know that what I'm like with dates and schedules, and
yeah, I mean, no, that.
So I'm just keeping it a little bit free, because that way I can do it when I've got the time, rather than being really regimented.
Yeah, of course. Okay, April.
So I am going to be following the book. It works out to be about 2 cards a week. It's not overwhelming, so that's really good. I already have my cards all ready to go in my journal. Ooh. And I did make up this page. Shoot, here we go. I'm going on this. I did make up this page, which Orshi I think has in the description. It's just a download. It has these these are free, royalty free clip art, and then I have all the names of the cards for the first section. So if you're interested in that, it's in there. And I will be doing some updates. I'm not going to commit to anything much because I'm not sure, but I will be doing some updates on my channel about my journey. And then, of course, it'll be in my journal, which I try to share every now and then. So I am going to try to suspend what I think I know. I already spent a year with this deck, but I did not study it. Like I just did readings and used the book. And so I'm looking forward to making some different connections. And I am, like you, Ritchie, I'm going to try to suspend what I think I know so that it doesn't get in the way of me having a very fresh experience with this. Yeah. What about you, Gerald?
I actually read the book, the book that came with, the guidebook. I read the book in 2020. So that was one of the things that I did. So I read a little bit of it every day. And I worked with it and I actually trimmed my deck. So I've connected with it.
I want to do that too.
That way.
Yeah. I want to see it more. Yeah. I want to do that. Can you show me the backs? How did it affect the backs?
I
like fine.
It's a little off, but I don't read the back of the cards, so
exactly.
There you go.
The trees on them.
I love it. I want to do that too over the year. So yeah.
Gerald, can you show the front?
Would you edge it? Would you edge it in, Gerald?
I edged each of the suits in a. Did I edge each? No, I think I edged it randomly. I just pulled them. So
green and brown. If I saw it.
No, it's there are 2 different shades of green. You can't really see it, and like a salmon.
Oh, lovely.
So let me see if I can get the bigger one.
Or did it bleed when you?
It was. There's a little bit of bleed, but it doesn't really bother me. So
that's a good job.
I can't do that. I mean, I wish I could edge decks in multiple colors, but I can't. It needs to be one color.
So there's a bit of a bleed, but it's not bad.
That's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about keeping the borders, but now looking at it like, it would be more comfortable for me as well because it's a bit wider than a regular tarot deck. So
I actually got a fake copy of it as well. I've got a mini version. I've got the Wildwood version, I call it. But I don't know where it's gone. It's disappeared. So I might try and pull that one out for study.
I'm showing this because this is an RWS. So it is trimmed. It is a little shorter or probably a quarter of an inch difference. Cool. So, and it's great it's wonderful to shuffle.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice. Yes,
I
I've
like a
seen a
long.
lot.
I like a long narrow card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm right
I've
there
seen
with you.
I've seen a lot of people doing the Hello Quest this year, and I'm planning on doing that next year once we're done with this one. So, why not? But yeah. Hello, Maruta Kellers, and
Hey.
if I miss someone, I'm really sorry. I saw Tony who's here. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so tired. I'm really, really sorry. I was so excited for this stream, and now I'm like, that's my brain. So I don't
You
understand.
just have a sleep
Wow.
and we'll talk amongst the three of us. You just have
I'm
a
getting
sleep.
old, you guys. I'm getting old. Officially tomorrow, but I'm getting old.
Really, Queen?
I mean, I can't wait another year because 41 just sounds like bleh.
Yeah.
42
April and I are
is.
both like, nope, we do not accept this.
No, not having that.
I mean, let's talk about like when I'm 42. That's gonna be fun. 42. 41 is like that's nothing.
Really?
No universal answers. No nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old.
I wonder how that relates to the Wildwood. A year in the Wildwood and you learning and all that stuff. That's going to be really interesting to see how you evolve over the year.
So I need evolving. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Of course I do. Yeah, but
And
I'm
yes,
actually
I have.
Yeah, I'm excited to, like I started with the guidebook, and that's when I decided that, you know what, because I started with it in December, and I highlighted things that I liked, and that was just the intro. And this is pretty much the first card that I got. And then I decided that, you know what, it's gonna be fun if I do the whole, year in the Wildwood. So because this was my second deck that I ever got, and I haven't used it ever since because I looked into it. I really liked that it was a shamanistic deck, and then I realized that it has its own system, and I wanted to respect the deck, and I wanted to use it as its own system. So obviously, I didn't just use it, so I put it off. And then years went by, and I was like, but I really want to use this deck. So now I'm forcing myself to actually.
Same here, Orsi. I picked this deck up enough times and shuffled it and put it back in its box over the years. I love the artwork. It's well worth it. I absolutely love the artwork. But it's always a bit like, oh no, not just yet.
Yeah.
And I will say that I actually I've read this just using my basic understanding of the RWS. So it reads fine both ways, and it adds that huge layer of that really connects to the cycles of the earth.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
Yeah, one of the things that I was looking at with this that I appreciate with the breaking up of the times of the year is that they actually straddle the high points of the seasons. Instead of having the season start at like an equinox, it actually straddles those. And I really appreciate that. I really enjoy that aspect of it. I have this book I'll be reading at the same time, which is the Air Magic book, since air is the element that we'll be studying. Amazingly enough, you guys, I bought this deck. Well, I bought this deck for the cover, for the illustration, but because Will Worthington illustrated this, and I will buy anything that Will Worthington has. And so it wasn't until you asked me to do this, I'm so bad this way, you guys, that I realized that John Matthews, who I love, John and Caitlin Matthews, wrote the book. So I'm really excited to be doing this and kind of finally understanding it, or hopefully finally understanding this deck a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm totally into everything seasonal. I live seasonally.
Ever since that I realized that the minors are connected to seasons, I cannot. I mean, I just don't care that. Oh, let's call it whatever. It's summer. It's the fire. For me, those two go together. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I was really excited for this deck, because it felt like it was the seasonal. It's the nature. It's the it's my ideal tarot reader, witchy side that I want to get to. That person is using this deck all the time, and it's like this easy and everything like that. So hopefully. And someone asked if we're using the guidebook or supplementals as well. Yes, we are using the guidebook, obviously, because I don't want to force anybody to, buy anything. Most of us, or all the four of us here, are using the year in the Wildwood. But as a little help, or, like a starting point, I listed all the cards that we're going to cover for the next 3 months in. So even if you don't have that book, which I honestly recommend because there are good journal prompts and extra information on the cards, then you can just, follow along and work with those cards and use the guidebook. So
and the Kindle version is cheaper too. So if you can't afford the paper version, the Kindle version is cheaper. And but I did think that the prompts in the book were really good and just profound.
I mean, it's not a cheap book, because even half priced, the Kindle version was like a regular book price. So, but I have it, and I looked into the whole the first 3 months just to type out the cards and stuff like that, and it looks really, really good. So.
But you don't need this book, you guys. You can just trust your own journey to get into working with the cards and just letting it unfold and letting your own magic take over and letting it be your own thing. You definitely don't have to have it.
And the guidebook has a lot of information already. So, I think it just helps to give us a structure that we can use for a year. So we're not just sitting here like, I have a bunch of cards. What am I supposed to do?
And I honestly think I agree. You don't need these extra books. The guidebook is absolutely sufficient. Personally, when you spend any time, any long, any period of time deeply studying a deck, you're going to find connections that aren't in any of the books, because you are individually you, and your own experience is going to grow and evolve. So I mean, it goes back to that idea, like April, you have that video about how to connect with the deck, and one of the first things you say, which made me cringe, was, "Don't look at the guidebook. Don't look at the guidebook. Put the guidebook away." And it makes perfect sense. Connect with the images. What are the images telling you? And then what connection do you have to the cards? And how does that supplement what is in the book?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, one of the reasons why I still film a flip through and a first impression of a deck, because that way I sit down and I go through the whole deck and I look at the images and I see it, because it's so easy to just get a new deck and be like, shuffle, 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 read. And then you never see cards because they don't come up in readings, and you miss out on the artwork.
I'm also going to say that they've got a fantastic Facebook page, the Wildwood. I think it's called A Year in the Wildwood, and I would recommend people joining that one. It's official by the creator of The Year in the Wildwood, and she's going to be posting prompts throughout the year as well. And it might be interesting, as a lot of people following that. So we're all in this together, so we're all going to get lots of lovely ideas. So I would recommend finding that on Facebook if you're interested.
Nice.
Does the Year in the Wildwood contain mainly prompts for studying the cards and journaling, or is it a question? It's the first one, I would say. But we're just starting this whole thing. April could maybe not. I don't know. Could answer it more. I don't know how much you looked into the book when you did the first year.
Oh no, I just got this for this, so I don't know. It's all brand new for me.
Okay. So,
but you may get a lot of those prompts on the Facebook group. So Ritchie, great for finding that. That's a free way for people to check into prompts.
I'm just going to find it and let you know what the actual site is, because I can't remember if it's the Wildwood or.
Yeah, I know. I checked it because I was like, maybe I don't need to buy the book because it's supposed to be there. But I think there are things that were removed because they want you to buy the book. Obviously, makes sense. but they still post prompts and like cards that you can work for bigger things like equinoxes and stuff like that.
I kind of feel like when I go and I travel alone, has anybody here ever done that? You go travel all by yourself. You have experiences that you wouldn't have if you took a friend with you, because when you have a friend, you kind of stick with the friend. And so, if you don't get the book, it's going to be like traveling alone, where you're going to just have these things that you're open to that you might not normally be. So don't feel pressured to buy that.
Yes. And we're trying to help with anything that we can. So, obviously I'm not going to, like I said, not going to read the whole book out loud here, but if anybody is struggling with a card and, they need help, then, you can find us. And that leads me into a question that I forgot to ask you guys, that if people want, we can create a Facebook group for this whole thing. But I was thinking maybe a Discord server would be nicer or easier to track things, because on a Discord server you can have chat rooms. So there are rooms that you can post dedicatedly. That's not a word. to the topic. So we can have a chat room for this section or different cards, and I think it would be easier to find things, and all you have to do is register, and then I would, if you guys are happy with the Discord server, I could just post a link and everybody can join. But if people are more so for Facebook, then I completely understand, and I will get over my hatred for Facebook and create a Facebook group for that one. So I was thinking that I will put up a poll tomorrow on my community tab, if it's not too much to ask you guys to come back and vote, and then whatever the result, I will post links to that, if that's good.
And also, there are a lot of really good resources out there about this deck. I know Sadhana, Integrative Healing with Sadhana, talked about it on her channel. So we're just one additional resource, and we're sharing our experience. So by all means, you do you, and do you really loudly or really quietly if you want. But I think that, okay, I'll just say it. That is what I feel this deck says. You get your connection, and you get your connection, and you get your connection, and make that connection really beautiful. You get a connection, and 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 you get a connection.
But yeah.
So
yeah. So it's not a disorder, but I totally get why the phone, change it into, Discord into that. It's mainly Discord was used to have a chat for people who play video games, or whatever it's called in English, games. But everybody started using them because it's a very structured. It's very easy to use in a way that you can have like I said, you can have dedicated little chat rooms that you click on, and then you have one conversation on that topic in that specific room. You can do voice chats and stuff like that, and it's closed off, so only those with an invite link can join. So it's not like any random people can walk into the conversation. So I mean, I prefer it to Facebook, because Facebook has one linear thing. Even if you tag the post, it's still harder to find who said what about what, and it's harder to find people's responses and pictures in comments, because on Discord at least you have the same size for everybody. So if someone posts a picture, everybody's gonna see the same size. It's not like it doesn't get lost in the comments, but it's just my preference.
Well, we'll see what the public has to say.
Yeah, that's why I said that if people are overwhelmingly up for Facebook, then I'm gonna get over myself and do that, because I want the place,
For the Facebook group, I'm just gonna go in and put the link into chat. So I'll
cool.
just get silent for a second.
Cool.
Thank you.
So are we going to jump into some of these cards today, or what are we doing here? Are we going to jump into the cards? We didn't really have a format for this.
No, because this is
Are we just introducing them? What's up?
We're getting ready for the study. This is the pre-stream, so no pressure. We're not doing anything like that. We're gonna do. There's gonna be one official stream at the end of the 3 months for sure, before the next cycle begins, where we talk about our experience with the whole suit section, whatever. What we're gonna do is you can check out the cards in the description. So I'm not gonna go through them because it's a lot, but pretty much all the cards from the arrow suit, and then okay, I lied. I'm gonna go through them. The Shaman, the Ancestor, the Ostara, which is one of my, if not my favorite star card ever, and then we have the Archer and the Stag. So these are the cards that we're gonna work with for the next 3 months. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna create a spread that only uses these cards that we can use either throughout the whole 3 months or just the beginning or whatever. And I was thinking that we can do this all together, with people in the chat. April had a really good idea that we should create an interview spread for this suit and these cards. So if anybody has ideas for positions, for card numbers and stuff like that, please do let me know. The first suit is the arrows, which is air, by the way. I shut up now. Study group also return search. Okay, thank you. Okay, so everybody go for the spread.
What do you think, Gerald? What do you think about that idea about doing an interview spread?
With all of the cards, with the majors as well as the suit of arrows.
Yeah, just what we're doing for this.
Yeah. I like that. Let me pull up. No. Actually, Jeffrey and I were talking about because we're doing our 3-card draws, and what he's been doing is he's been doing a 3-card spread, and the 3 cards are I am, I should not, and I should. So it's a 3-card spread, and it's I am, I should not, and I should. And
I like that.
3 cards may be enough. And that way, it's just something to keep in mind when we're exploring and we're getting to know the suit and these cards.
So it's from the point of view of the cards. So the I am is as in the cards are going to tell you who they are? Or
it's personal?
Yeah.
I think it could be personal, and it's you in relation to... Maybe it could be, and to be honest with you, it could be, it could be when you're looking at this suit throughout this course. This is who I am, and so that's like, okay, I am this, and I should not do this, and I should do this. So maybe that first one, I am, is this is who you are as you study.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
As you study the arrows, I guess.
Yes.
As you study the arrows, yes.
Or I guess as you study the suit of air, because there's actually major arcana in there that aren't arrows, so it'd be
yes.
Yes. The time of arrows. That's I think that's how it's called in the book. But so yeah.
Okay, I have to let my cat in, or she's just gonna keep scratching. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, we like cats, so. I mean, we could do something like, we could do multiple spreads. Like 3 months is a long time, so it's not like we need to limit ourselves for one spread. But so I like that, something that what we're expecting from each other. Or I don't know.
And it could be it could be if you want to do like the I am. So essentially, for each suit group that we're studying, we know who we are in that suit, and then at the end you could do an interview spread with using the whole deck.
Yeah.
And then that is what is your relationship with the deck over the course of the year. You know, maybe I'm overcomplicating it, but you know,
No.
if we start with just going, okay, thinking about this group, who am I out of all of those? And then what should I not do and what should I do as I keep this group in mind?
I like that. And I really like that, you know, like 3 months, 3 cards for 3 months. I like things like that. So
yeah, I oftentimes will do that. It's when somebody will ask for a reading, I'll actually pull 1 card per month.
And so someone asked, Maruta asked, so we should study these tomorrow. We're starting from tomorrow. If you check this live stream's description, I listed out all the cards, and I have my laptop here, so that's why I know. It's starting from the 1st of February, and it's still the 1st of May. For the first section, we have the Ace of Arrows, which is from the 1st of February till the 9th. We also have the King of Arrows, which is the Kingfisher, which runs till the 26th, and we have the Shaman, who is the main card, I guess, for this 3 months, and that's the main. I don't even know, like character or energy that we're working with.
They call it the hub card, I believe.
Hub,
so like the hub of the wheel, like that's for the center of this time. That's which all the other cards sort of spin around.
Yes.
When I think of the word hub, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ritchie, what do you think of the word hub as meaning?
Yeah, I take that to be that's the linchpin, the pivot for that part.
Yeah, because I was thinking.
Yeah. And that's it. That's in the guidebook, right? That comes with the deck, right?
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It's page useful. 26.
Yeah, it's useful. I think it's very useful to make a copy or in some sort of form for yourself and plaster it somewhere, because it actually helps put the whole system more visually in place, I think. And oh god, I forgot what I wanted to say.
I had something I wanted to share you guys, a little story here. Story time.
Yay.
So one of the cards that we'll be studying is the Kingfisher. This is for this time, which is the King of Arrows, the Kingfisher. And I love hummingbirds. We call them hummingbirds. We don't call them kingfishers, or at least I don't. So last night, as I was getting all of my materials together, this is where it gets a little sad, you guys. My cat came in. And she brought with her this little Kingfisher.
Oh, like that bird alert. Like, why are we looking at that bird?
Aww.
It's a little juvenile male. I like to think that maybe he got
horror story.
So I was like, when things like this happen, I try to see them as omens, but I'm like, what am I supposed to take this at? So I kind of feel like the Kingfisher came to me. This is a juvenile male. As you can see, he has a little orange spot on the top of his head. He's not very big. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that he wasn't killed by my cat, that actually he was killed by the other males that are in the yard, because I have a lot of hummingbirds, and they're very territorial. They're a very solitary bird. Even the males sometimes don't even let the females around. But I don't know what I'm going to do. Tomorrow's Imbolc Eve, and I may just take him out and do some kind of presentation to the earth and, release him and all that. But it was kind of an odd thing where I was just going through, and I was literally just getting to that card and thinking about it. And then I was like, hey, what do you have there? And I thought, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope I didn't scar anybody. Gosh, maybe that's really traumatic for someone out there. Ritchie.
I mean, oops, sorry. But yeah, Kingfisher is the one that lives next to a river or something like that. It's So hummingbirds are the ones who are eating nectar and stuff like that, and kingfishers are fishing for fish. Like, so it's not exactly the
okay,
same.
not exactly the same. Okay.
But they've got that brilliant flash of color, and I mean.
Okay, so I'm totally off, and this isn't a kingfisher; it's a hummingbird. So my story is null and void now.
Not at all.
No,
not
because
at
you
all.
made that
Not
connection.
at all.
So it's not at all.
It's still the energy of Imbolc in there. So
Yeah.
Yes.
And tomorrow is Imbolc, and that's when I mean, I know not every place starts or marks Imbolc as the 1st of February, but I'm biased, and for me it
Happy
is.
birthday, Orchie. Happy birthday.
Exactly, thank you. But this book does. So we're starting from tomorrow because it's the book and the study starts. That's why I wanted to do the stream before it, so we can get ready, get our decks out and stuff like that. So and yeah, what was something that I've seen? Oh yeah, Kelly, the Truth in Story, she has a really good video. I watched it back then. So yeah, we will collect all the resources as well wherever we're ending up studying, because this whole study group idea was just bring in all the resource that we can, share our experience, and help each other to learn about cards, because maybe it's gonna be like someone's gonna pull a card and be like, okay, 9 of arrows, what the hell is dedication? What am I supposed to get out of dedication from the 9 of arrows, which is supposed to be something completely different in the RWS system? So and I remember what I wanted to say, that what I want to do, and I'm not sure if I can, but I'm kind of thinking about removing in some way the numbers from the major Arcana, because it doesn't make any sense to be grouping the RWS way, the cards, when they are in a completely different realm and connection to each other. So if anybody did that, and you didn't just use some whatever it's called,
you can put whiteout on it, and then if you decided you wanted to put the numbers back on there, you can just scratch it off because it's a waxy card.
Yeah, but
so
would that stay on it? Wouldn't that just get removed?
No, because it's waxy, it'll come off. You could scratch it off later if you want to take the whiteout off. Or you could buy correction tape, which is like white and stuff. All the time I scratch that off. So
cut off the whole title. I mean, I'm hoping to know this deck inside and out, and know the cards without their title. So my main goal is to be at a place where I just look at a card and I'm like, that's the whatever. So
well,
then
you go,
I can,
girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's my goal. We will see where I'm gonna end up.
There you go.
Hi, Minasa.
Hi,
Hey, Manasa.
I'm also going to completely overachieve. Get your hashtag ready, Gerald.
Okay. Overachiever.
Because while studying the Wildwood, I also thought I would study the Spirit of Nature Oracle at the same time. Why study one Will Worthington deck when you can study 2 at the same time? I started working with this one, and actually it's helping me with some of the images that are in it, just to know the trees. So, for example, I've been doing spreads and doing work with the trees, the Celtic trees of the year. And a card like the Lovers, I think it's the Lovers card, or they're not called the Lovers, but whatever it is, has got birch trees on it. And so it's really nice to bring in the knowledge of what birch means and all the energy that comes with that one there. Yeah. So I'm finding that quite useful, and I'm really excited to be able to somehow combine these two, because 78 cards is simply not enough, is it? You might as well chuck another.
I mean, try to have more. And especially since you're being limited, Ritchie, right? You've only got this limited amount right now for the next 3 months. You might as well mix it up.
Worthington art again is exactly. You've got a year. Come on now, But I'm interested to see how this links in, because this obviously follows Imbolc and the seasons of the year. So I'm kind of doing it together just to see what the links are and what the connections are with that one.
Well, I may jump on that, Ritchie, because, I'm studying the Celtic trees too. So I may just go ahead and jump on it with you. That sounds kind of fun.
Let's do it. Come on, let's go.
I have the deck too, but because I do other decks stuff, you know.
There it is, Ritchie.
There it is.
I do not have that deck, so there you
good.
go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
and
do I?
this reminds me, is there any oracle cards besides this that you want to use with it, or do you want to use the study to just focus on this card deck?
I'm not overcomplicating it.
You've got enough?
I have plenty. I have, because I'm also studying another deck. So, and if I were really overcomplicating it, I would get that deck that April and Ritchie were talking about. And then isn't the Druid Craft also by Will Worthington?
Yeah. And also the Sacred,
the Celtic Lenormand,
the Druid plant, and also the Druid animal deck as well. So you could.
I think I have the animal and the,
I have the animal one, but I can't find it. I was just looking for it.
Yeah. But that might be a little bit too much, perhaps.
Yeah. I think the trees are good. That goes along with my druidic studies anyway. So I'm kind of doing that this year. So that's kind of perfect. And that's what this study feels like. It's just going to really dovetail really well with my goals for the year, which is one of the reasons why I was so excited to be a part of it. So thank you, Orshi, for inviting me.
Of course. And I forgot to say it when we started, but if anybody wants to join us on screen, I think like 6 people, up to 6 people, it's still fine. So, you know, we have, so, you know, just reach out, and for the next stream, you can be on screen if you want. And, you know, Michelle said that, hi, Michelle, by the way, that, you know, the numbers for the majors are still the position and the journey. And I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, as much as I looked at this deck, they go in a different way. So the 1 doesn't follow the 3. They, for example, in this section, we're starting with the 1, of course. Where did I put the Shaman? Okay, I misplaced the Shaman. So he is the main hop card, but we also have the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 17. So those are the ones that are grouped in this section, and they don't follow the regular, you know, order, at least not for me.
No. And I kind of like that. I like the fact that it's a bit, well, there's obviously a pattern there somewhere, but it's all a bit random, you know. It's I like that. It feels like you are going on it feels like we're all going to be sort of stepping into this Wildwood, and it reminds me, you're going to get this, I think, the Harry Potter maze in Goblet of Fire. It feels like we're all going to go and do that in a way, go off down our little pathways, and occasionally we'll send up a spark when we get a bit lost and confused.
With no Voldemort at the end.
Yes.
Let's leave the Voldemort.
Don't touch anything in there.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to be.
Yeah, so I was talking about the major. Sorry if I didn't make it clear. The minors follow the usual route or whatever, but yeah, I was just talking about the majors. So Tony asked, what are we doing with each card? So my idea was, okay, I have the book, so I'm gonna go with the prompts there. But what I plan on doing is get the card out, just first look at it, look at the artwork, read the guidebook, you know, to see, because there's a lot of information in the guidebook. Journal about it, make notes about what the guidebook says, what the other book says, and then, you know, answer prompts like, what does this card represents to me? How am I feeling this energy shows up in my life currently, or in general, or in the past? You know, you can do stuff like that, and I think that's enough for, you know. Yeah. As a study for it. But, you know, if anybody has other ideas, please do share.
That's kind of what I was going to do. I was going to probably be, I'm going to take mine outside, I think. I'm going to make a little pack for them so that when I go out walking in nature and something, I can just sit there for a little while and just look through this season's cards, because you're going to get a different sense. You're going to bring in your senses, your smells, your whatever's going on around you. bringing in the energy of Imbolc going through into spring. I'm just excited to kind of see what the responses are that way.
I love that, because taking the cards with me will allow me to really tie them to my land and really to kind of groove that in my own spirit in its own special way. So I love that idea. One of the things that I think I'll probably do that I like doing when I'm studying a deck is whatever cards are available to me, because I'm going to hold back and I'm just going to do the cards as they unfold. So like the first week, I'm only going to have one. But as I get further down, I think I'll probably do some of this who can I take with me this week sort of thing, where I pull one out. Or sometimes I like to do at the end of the day, where which one of you has something to say about the day, and I will pull that card out and then kind of say, how did this relate to my day? So I like to do that too, to sort of draw more personal connections to the cards. I find the more I can find a personal connection, the more likely I am to remember it and to really groove my way into the deck.
That's very
Mike
good.
and Gerald, you got any ideas?
I actually really like that. I'm going to try to keep this as straightforward as possible for me. And after I look at one, I'm going to, after I do a study of one, I'm going to keep all of them out, because it's a journey. And because that's a marking of time.
Oh, I love that.
So, and my understanding.
Yeah.
Thanks. So will you have those out like on an altar, or do you just have windowsill, or you mean out like just in a pile? Are you going to display them?
I'll have the I don't know if I'll display them. So, but I will have them. I'll have them around, and how I want to use them, and as I study them, they will be at the ready. They'll be in my satchel as I walk the Wildwood.
Oh.
Love that. Beautiful.
You've got sensible shoes for the Wildwood, Gerald.
I'm going to go barefoot.
I thought you might.
Ah, of course. Like the Wanderer.
But also, I'm going to think about kind of collecting bits from nature. So if I come across any sticks or leaves or whatever, or perhaps just take some photos of something that reminds me of it, or perhaps if I'm sitting out with a card and I put it on the ground, I'm going to take a photo of it, just to try and go with that. And I'm going to try and avoid the book till the very last thing that I look at. So I'm just going to try and write it all together.
Myself as well. I will definitely save the book until I've had something experientially at least. And I love your idea of path working into them. That's one of my favorite things to do. So
yay.
I'm the opposite. I'm going to start with the book and then get that information sink in and then add layers. And I'm not going to really go outside because it's winter and it's cold and I have to go out because of work and I hate it. And I don't want to mix the two together because I don't know. Because all I do is use public transportation and go into the big city, the concrete thing. And I know that you could say that, I would bring nature with me if I would, get the deck with me. But I feel like I would just ruin the whole thing. So I'm going to save it to my little tiny desk and have a tiny, wildwood there. Enjoy there.
I would recommend, though, sort of getting, I don't know, if you're studying it, putting some, I'm not saying music, but sound effects or whatever on while you're doing it, and perhaps some incense or some flowers, that kind of thing. And on your way back from work, find some sticks or some leaves. Just have that out as well. Just I love
the idea of actually even maybe trying to find an incense for each element so that I can really groove that
nice.
neural pathway. So get something, maybe I'll put together something for air. I'm really getting into incense crafting this year. I have all these books and because I needed something else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Like you do.
I always need something else.
Share.
It's my Aries self. I gotta have a new mountain to climb. But so I like the idea of having an air incense, creating something and then kind of grooving that. I love how you're talking about just bringing in as much sensory things as you can in order to really connect, because I think that's very profound.
Yeah. And
I've got these cards. Sorry, I picked these cards up enough times and put them back because they left me a little bit cold, they're a bit big to shuffle a bit. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to go down that road, I think, to that sensory thing. to embrace this. I'm not just going to sit there indoors looking at them. I'm going to have to take them out and do something a bit more with them, I think, for it to work.
Gerald, what was your experience? Do you feel like you've been left cold by these?
No, I liked them.
Yeah.
It was a mindset adjustment that I needed to take. Because it is its own, I mean, seriously, walking into your own little world, into a new world. So I agree. Anything that you can do to get you out of this time and place is going to be helpful. Light a candle, burn some incense, wear a certain outfit, something to get you into that mood of being with all of these cards and the characters in the cards and the elements. It's really beneficial.
Maybe you'll have a magical scarf that you put on. That would be kind of your Wildwood scarf, Gerald.
Let's not forget, this is the season of the shaman, so perhaps we should be doing shamanic kind of rattles and drumming and shamanic.
I have a few folk artists, English folk artists or whatever, Celtic. I don't know what's the official designation, which I really love, listening to when I do work with certain decks and do magic, I guess. So I'm definitely gonna do that. And why I'm highlighting this comment for so long is because I really like the travel box idea, and I wanted to ask Michelle if she's gonna share that idea at some point, if we're gonna have a place, because 19 degrees is in Fahrenheit or the other way, but it's like cold. So yeah, it's really windy. By the way, it's really windy here, so air is full on.
Yeah. How many of you? I was just watching the wrens this morning out my window, and I have so many hawks here. We have so many hawks. I see hawks all the time. Sadly, I don't have a place that I know of around me that has swans. Anybody here have a place they can go to look at swans? That would be.
I'm a bit scared of swans, though.
Exactly, they are vicious. I mean, people are like, "Ooh, swans!" No, they can be mean. So I'm not at all for swans.
But the swan is one of the birds associated with Bridget, isn't it, as well? So.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just checking.
I'm going to go too near the swans.
I have to check which bird was the wren. So.
Yeah, in the book, this book here, one of the things that she mentions is, like maybe trying to put something on to draw the energy of, what do they call these again? These are our the court cards are our what are they called?
The guardians, right?
Guardians. The guardians that we have during this time. So like connecting with the guardian energy.
They are the court card guardians, because the stag and the archer are the guardians of Ostara, and the ancestor and the Ostara are the guardians of Imbolc. So there are a lot of guardians.
Yeah. So, but I love the idea of like trying to draw on that that animal's power for the day, to take something that was like, I forget, they had a bunch of different ideas in here that were just, simple. Wear a skirt with a swan on it or something like that, or Kingfisher or whatever it is that you're.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have these.
And I, we're throwing out a whole lot of wonderful ideas. You can do all of them. You can do none of them. You can do something else. And this is the benefit of being with people who are going through the same experience. What works for me may not work for anybody else. So I just want to point that out is that don't get overwhelmed. Just show up. And if you do nothing else, read about that card in the book.
Yeah, you will do. Well, you have more information if you read the guidebook than you did before. So that's already like a lot.
And what's interesting about something like this is when we all come together for something, even though we are in different places all over the world, there is a collective energy that we all get to tap into as we take this journey. And Ritchie and I are kind of espousing some of these really like grandiose ideas. So when we come back in 3 months, we'll see just how that panned out.
Exactly.
You never know. But no guilt or shame if you drop it.
No.
If you can't make it happen, you can't make it happen. It's okay.
There'll be
And be mad for the journey.
And if you pause the study,
I'm expecting the summer to be really busy. So, at the moment we have the peaceful evenings, the darker nights to be able to do this. But I know that in a few months' time, it's going to get a bit crazy and mad again. So
yeah, but we have a year, so.
And just show up. If you haven't studied as much as you think you should, just show up. It's okay.
Yeah, and
it's not a competition.
No,
you're not competing with anyone. You're just being yourself, enjoying the ride.
Yeah, and like I said, if you take a hiatus and you don't touch the deck for a few months, you can come back and rejoin and continue, or that's why this is going to be hopefully a support system for everybody. So
and we're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So US people, UK person the other way around, and Hungarian here. So it's really an international effort right now.
It is.
And that was one of the things that when I first looked at the deck, when I saw all the birds and all the animals at court cards, and I was like, what am I supposed to get out of these birds? I don't know these birds. So, it's going to be a little ornithology or whatever it's called. Because all I know is that this is a small bird. This one hunts. This is vicious. And this is pretty. So, there's not a lot to go on.
And to be honest with you, Orshi, I would write down, as you look at the cards, your first impressions of them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because, a lot of times when I study, I'll look at a card, and if I'm doing a formal study, I'll actually write down in my journal what I see in it. Because if I'm looking at this, and I'm just, let's say I'm simply looking at the 7 of arrows, and I'm like going, and I note that there's a skull there, and her right foot is on the skull. Does that mean something, or is it an artistic choice? All 3 of those options are good, and so that's the way I study. That's the way I look at it.
That's very good. Thank you for mentioning that, because I don't think I would have realized that could be useful. Like, look at that page. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, no, you are so wrong, Orshi. They're just beautiful, and yes, they may be strong, but no, I think of them as like peaceful. This is just such a sovereign bird to me. So
have
you
met a swan? Like I've
seen them on the water. I've been at a park, sitting on a bench with them out on the water. I've never come up on one.
I still can see my brother sprinting out of the lake, and the swan behind him going like a mad, crazy thing, trying to catch my brother, because he was swimming in an area where people were, but a swan family came by, and the swan was like, "Oh, these are attacking my children." So I understand where the protectiveness is coming from, but I still remember, and that was like 20 years ago.
So that
the way
card
my brother was running
is a bit of a trigger for you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I think people are underestimating these birds, because you can see those videos when people go close to swans and be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "You're gonna lose your face."
I actually think that people underestimate all of the animals in this. I think people underestimate all animals in general. So
and overestimate humans, if you think about it.
Yeah. So for me, I won't look at the book, and I'll just go like Gerald said, off my initial impressions, what I think. I'll look for anything that stands out to me in the card, and then, like Ritchie was saying, I'll try to pathwork my way into the card to really see what's there, and see if my spirit will take me somewhere in this photo and reveal something to me that maybe I just wouldn't get unless I entered a little bit more of a liminal space, and then I'll journal that too, to start off with, before I even, pick up. He's coming for you.
Yeah, I just looked at the
Sorry, I'm
bird
not trying to trigger you.
and it's
That was
such
kind of mean. Sorry.
it's no, it's just if you look at the face of the bird, it's such a like, oh, I'm so sad. Why are you saying so nice nasty things about me? And I'm like, okay, sorry. Already guilting me.
See, and isn't that a point of when something like that you have a strong reaction to? Isn't that worth spending
noting.
time investigating?
Yeah, for
of
sure.
course.
Absolutely.
There's an
Yeah,
But
I'm
you know, I
definitely going
know
to
that
go
it's
in and
coming.
do some research on swans now. I'm like, I'm
Okay.
intrigued.
They've often used as a kind of quite a sexual sign, swans. If you think about Greek myths and legends, you know, there's Leda and the swan, who wasn't she?
And the
Zeus turned
belly.
himself into a swan and
Swan.
to have his way with her and stuff like that. So they're
the
more
swan
than just
song.
a beautiful large white bird.
Yeah. And I just remember that I'm reading Terry Pratchett books, and I read Masquerade, like before the one that I'm reading now, and it's about an opera house, and there's a for some reason there was a swan in the book. I can't remember why, but you know there are random things in Terry Pratchett's book. But the swan doesn't want to die, and that is visiting, and there's just a conversation between the swan and that, because the swan doesn't want to sing, because you know the swan has to sing before it dies, and the way that tricks into the swan to sing a song is just, you know, like it's just so funny.
And I think it will be very interesting and I don't know about all of you, but when I'm studying a deck, images or information about certain cards will show up in my life in a variety of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's something important to also pay attention to and to note. And because what does that mean? Is that a spirit animal? Is it an animal totem? Is it something that is important for you?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it does. It's like as soon as you decide that you want to buy a car, like you find a car that you want to buy, and suddenly you see them everywhere. You're like, look, there's another one. So I definitely find that the universe is so gracious to bring me all sorts of ways to connect with that which I'm studying.
Especially when we are open to it and pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was thinking that, you know, once we start sharing our experiences, it would be really cool if people could share a folk tale, or, you know, if there's something special to their culture, and share it with other people, because we are coming from different, you know, parts of the world. So that could be something that would add to some collective knowledge about this deck.
Yeah.
Chickens are dinosaurs. Yes, exactly. And to know that dinosaurs actually had feathers, and all the current, you know, like illustrations of dinosaurs are alive, I think it's really cool. Okay,
I think they're still guessing.
yeah. This is all I had in mind, to be honest, as a starting.
Looks like we're good.
But if you know, if anybody, I mean, are you guys okay with the spread that Gerald came up with? I am. I know.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I was off having a cough and a sneeze, so I'm sure you'll be able to fill me in later on it. So
yeah, we're gonna post it, you know, in everywhere. And like I said, I'm gonna put up a poll tomorrow, and I'm gonna leave it on for a while, and you guys can bird. I just read the chat. You guys can vote, not bird.
And I'll post a link to this page also over on my community tab. So if you're subscribed, then you'll see it, and I'll probably put it in my email newsletter too. So for those
but it's already in the description as well, if anybody, you know, is.
And sorry, the Facebook page I was talking about, I tried to put a link in and it didn't work. It's the Wildwood Tarot Study Group.
Deanne posted something earlier, so
okay.
I think she posted the one, so it should be in the chat. Is going to be available after a while that this live goes up. So if you watch the replay and the chat is not available yet, just wait a little and it's gonna be there, so you can find the link. Or if you know, someone wants to comment it under this video, I can approve it, because links go to a certain place.
Yes.
Okay. So the Undead Imposter study group. So okay, if anybody wants to post it in the comments after this live ends, then maybe it's easier. Then I can approve it, and the link is gonna be visible. Okay, so like I said, I think we're good. There's gonna be one before the 1st of May for sure, but I don't know. Maybe someone wants to do like a live in between. We will see how busy we are, because lives and everything like that. But yeah, I think we covered everything that I was thinking to cover as a starting one. Don't forget that every card is listed in the description. We're starting tomorrow, but if you're gonna find this live a week from now or in the middle of March, it's okay. Just check the list and start working with the
And are you going to create a playlist on your channel?
I already created the playlist.
You already
yes.
created it? Okay,
April asked me. Yes. So there's
Thank you, April.
So yeah. So yeah, that's all. I think we're at an hour. So hopefully see you all in various places. And like I said, we need a place where we can share our ideas. So tiny hands. Where's mine? one tiny hand. Hello. I need a smaller one because this is too big.
April doesn't have any tiny hands yet.
Yeah.
I don't, but I was given something for Christmas, Gerald, and I cannot wait. I forgot to bring it in here, and it's going to be better than a tiny hand.
Tiny feet.
And I will be using it in the future.
Oh my
I look forward to seeing that. Level it up.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna end this stream, and yeah, see you guys soon. And thank you everyone who joined, and like I said, who's gonna watch the replay as well. And thank you all to my lovely fellow study persons.
Thank you.
Here on screen and off screen as well. So April has a dead bird. That beats all. Yes. Bye.
Bye.